Welcome to the Motoring Podcast, recharging around Britain on Wednesday, the 15th of July, 2026. Hello, I'm Alan.
Hello, I'm Andrew, and on this review of Day 3, you'll learn how motorway can affect efficiency, what our charging sponsor has been up to, and how it's easier to give up on a charger than to keep on trying.
Are we?
Yes.
Okay. Today, we drove from Folkestone in the south to Washington in the northeast. The northeast, yes. Okay. Oh, I didn't realise we were getting specific about that.
Well, yes, because we're showing the way we're going around.
Yes. Well, yeah, if you haven't been following already, given we started in Preston and we've been going for 3 days ever since. Today, quick reminder of why we're doing this. Obviously, we did Charging Around Britain 10 years ago. We wanted to find out how good the charging infrastructure was back then. And we want to find out how good the charging infrastructure is right now, as well as how that plays off against the cars and whatnot. So trying to work out if it's harder or easier. I think we've got a fairly decent answer so far.
Yes, I think so.
We are recording this at 12 minutes past 8 in the evening, having already had our dinner.
And it's still light.
And it's still light. There are clues there as to how it's going so far, really. Which is making it tricky for us because, of course, chaos makes content and...
Yeah, but we also don't want chaos.
We don't, yeah. There's a little bit of a...
For this to be bland and dull would be quite nice, honestly.
Well, good news, everyone. So as I say, today from Folkestone to Washington, we had every intention of trying to... Today we have thrown the whole, we're going to follow the same route out the window, really, because we'll talk about why shortly, but we had an appointment this afternoon, and to make sure we were there on time, and because getting there involved the M20, the M25, and the M1.
Well, the way we took it did, yes.
Well, the way we took it did, but we couldn't avoid the M20 and the M25 at some point.
Yeah, and that's such an unknown quantity, no matter what time of day you're doing, and we were doing it probably mid-rush hour.
Yeah, kind of left Folkestone at just before 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
About 7:45, 10 to 8. So we were aware it was rush hour time, so we just hit the sat-nav and followed the sat-nav. But we had plans to go around and cut up through East Anglia and try to stick to the East Coast as much as we could, but we did need to get to Sheffield-ish on the M1 by roughly a certain time. We cheated, and to an extent where everything went so smoothly that we ended up stopping slightly short of where we needed to be for a bit to have a slightly longer lunch without needing to charge or anything, but just really we needed to wait up a bit because we were ahead of schedule.
Yes.
After that, what did we do? We then came up, we went over the Humber Bridge because we did that last time. That was really cool. So we took a detour via Hull, as one does. And then went across, rejoined the M1 and made our way up here. We charged 3 times a day. We started off with like 90%. I think
we had 197 miles.
Yeah, about 197 miles. 3 charging stops. We stopped at Toddington at the bottom of the M1 with many miles left, really. But we did need that boost to get our way up to Markham Vale. And then after we'd been and jiggled around a bit, we stopped at Wetherby services for a bit of a boost to give us the little bit we needed to get here at Washington, and also a bit of a boost for tomorrow morning. So we haven't charged up this evening. We're going to do that just after we leave in the morning. Tomorrow is here to Perth, Aberdeen, and then Inverness.
Yes.
It's going to be a mix of driving. 414 miles covered in total today.
Chunky. I think it's our most.
Probably one of the most, yeah. It might be, I can't remember what Inverness, but it's Inverness to Fort William this time, not Inverness to Glasgow.
Yeah.
We may be close on that one.
Certainly on time.
On time, yeah. It's quite a long day today, really, I suppose. No, because we stopped. So the reason we stopped at Markham Vale is because our sponsor, Gridserve, happened to be opening their new charging hub today. Some of you will have seen that already. I put out stuff on Instagram and on Blue Sky earlier on today as we record, earlier on Wednesday. So some of you have already seen that. but it's an impressive new facility. We'll be following up on that, I think, with Gridserve in the nearish future, and just talking a bit more to Gridserve, and that'll be part of that. But an impressive place, really. It's got 30-something, 400 kilowatt chargers.
Yep.
It's got a Costa, it's got a shop, it's got a big sort of meeting room, a communal area with sofas and all sorts of nice stuff. And it's just off the M1.
Yes.
And, well, certainly I mean, I was joking in the car on the way up that it seemed really, really nice, but I didn't really understand why people needed it, given how quickly we can charge and turn around. And then we remembered that other cars don't quite work on the instant, especially not the German models, with the massive battery packs that we're starting to see from Mercedes and BMW and stuff. Totally get it. But really, just a nice setup. First one of those Gridserve charging hubs that I've been to. I know I've been around for a while. Had we been taking a longer route earlier in the day, we'd have gone via Braintree, which was the original one.
But for those who've been to other Gridserve hubs, typically there is the building that has the shop and the meeting room, or the area that you can do work, and the coffee shop. But then outside there is sort of like a forecourty area with canopies, and then you charge outside. But with this one, there was a large section of charging hubs were underneath the building, so the building was just raised up a floor. Everything was on the first floor in terms of the shop and the toilets and the areas to work. But also on the outside, there was a couple of charging points for larger EV vehicles, such as coaches, lorries, someone towing a caravan, big vans, that sort of thing. And they were ones that you just pull up into sideways. They were sort of like a lay-by, basically. Is how they were laid out. There was a couple of those, so that's good to see that there's some larger vehicles being catered for, and then the rest were dotted around the side. There was also quite a few outside without a canopy over them on top of things. So there's a lot of chargers there, is what we're saying, but there's also parking spaces for those who aren't charging as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you're meeting someone there, for example, there are spaces, so they're not icing someone.
Yeah.
Or if they don't need to charge, they're not blocking up a much needed charger. So 30-odd charging bays I counted. But it's just a really nice facility. We've seen the inside of quite a lot of services over the last few days.
Yes.
Just where we've been, and because we've been on motorways quite a lot. And it was nice to see somewhere that wasn't. I mean, say we've seen the inside services. We walk into services. We go do what we need to do biologically, maybe grab a drink or something, wander back to the car, and then by the time we've taken a couple of pictures, made a couple of social media posts, then it's time to head off.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just us, to be honest.
But when we were talking about the charging, because all those machines worked perfectly, it was something we didn't say when you went through the charging bits, is what I said in the introduction. There was one point that it was at Wetherby, we turned up, and it was with Gridserve. There was a ton of Gridserves of varying speeds, and we rocked up to one, and we started the charge, and then it stopped. So what we've learnt with our experience, and not on this trip, but we've learnt previously,
a decade ago.
Yeah, we've learnt this previously, is rather than try and just keep doing the same thing over and over and failing, if the machine doesn't work once, just move on to another machine as quickly as possible. And this is the sort of little messages that need to be passed on to new EV owners, because they won't know this and they'll get really frustrated. So there's a lot of education needs to happen from the industry.
Can I say a nice thing with the Gridserve one is that because I'd activated the charge and stuff from my phone, and it had tried to start, and then it hadn't. But what it had done is it had taken the sort of £30 deposit, which is more than we need to charge.
Yeah.
It had taken that. And so when I tried the second time on the same machine, it said, we've already taken the guarantee for this. Do you want to just use that same payment method and use that? So as the two charges failed, it didn't take £60 out. It just took £30. We moved to another charge. It went, you've still got this because you haven't had a successful charge yet. Do you want to use it? Some other networks would have taken that sort of payment guarantee on my debit card 3 times. The Gridserve system didn't. It only took it the once. And when it worked, it said, we'll just use this one. And that was it's a tiny little detail, but I know there was one network that used to put quite a significant hold on your card, and it would do that every time a charge failed.
Yeah.
So you ended up with a hold of quite sometimes many hundreds of pounds. I saw people have had it fail a few times, and then it would take ages to get that back. Gridserve didn't do that.
Yep.
I know they're our sponsor, but I would say that even if they weren't, because I just, as I say, I thought it was just a nice touch.
Yep, absolutely. So what are we doing tomorrow again? Just to
tomorrow we're
summarise?
setting off from here in the morning.
Yep.
We are heading towards Edinburgh, probably the A68. We may well stop on the edges of Edinburgh, depending on how it's going. That's reminded me of something we've still got to mention. Other than that, we're going to head up towards Perth, and then after Perth, Aberdeen and Inverness, ready for the big Highland lap on Friday.
Yep.
The thing I didn't mention was the economy.
Oh, right, yes.
Today has had a real impact on our economy because it has been all motorway almost.
Yeah.
All motorway, certainly all dual carriageway. And for that, we were getting about 3.8-ish.
The lowest was 3.5, but generally it was 3.8. That seems to be for the Insta and for just driving normally at the normal speed limit for dual carriageways and motorways with a central reservation. That seems to be what it does. And that's fine because then you're clued in with that, you're expecting that. And of course, that reinforces the confidence we have in when the car says the range is this, that the range is going to be somewhere around that, which is important. Particularly, again, I'll go back to new EV owners because a lot of these things, experienced people understand this and they have got used to the foibles of their vehicle. But new owners won't know this. And again, we have to remember that we're doing this in the summer. The weather is very nice. There are no mad fluctuations in temperature. It's not very cold.
Don't say that before we get to the Highlands.
No, but it's not very well. I think we can be confident there won't be snow. Not where we're going.
Bless. Do you think not? Okay.
We won't be able to see it on the tops, but it shouldn't actually be falling as we drive round.
I would hope, given we are mostly around about sea level, I would hope that is the case, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're hoping it should be a bit better, back up to the kind of 4 point something that we were getting. If we can eke through, if we can get close to 5, I will be so delighted. That probably won't be tomorrow. That'll be Friday. I will be so delighted if we can manage that.
But again, it won't be because we're trying to hype a mile or anything like that.
No.
So if it does that, then that is the capability of the vehicle completely in the software and everything. So that will be impressive.
The speeds will be slower on Friday.
Well, there's more chance of regen as well.
Yeah. Well,
that's the big thing, by the way, of what we found with the motorways and the dual carriageways. Because there isn't the regen, that obviously means you don't get back the mileage. It doesn't then boost up the average kilowatts per mile.
So you don't get us staring at the screen in the car going, yes, we got 2 miles back, which is what was happening yesterday.
Yeah. But equally, we are also not staring at what's the live consumption efficiency because we don't want to know, because we don't want it to affect the way we drive.
Yeah. We both had this conversation earlier on today about we try not to show the live score in front of ourselves on the dashboard because otherwise we are both guilty of gamification and just driving to fit that rather than just driving like we drive to get to places normally.
Yeah.
Important thing. Anything else we need to talk about? Any parish notes or anything?
I think a bit of a warning that the live stream we were talking about doing at the end of this, we're actually going to do next week at some point. It's not going to be practical to do it on the Saturday evening for one, but also we need some time to have a think and also give you guys a chance to think up some questions that you want to present us about after hearing everything, anything that we've missed, but also we'll be celebrating the fact that we'll have gone through our 700th episode by then as well, because in perfect motoring podcast style, we've not done anything for the 700th episode.
No, it's going to be the 701st.
Second.
Is it?
Yeah, because the 701st is the news. The 700th will be Saturdays.
Yes, that's all. I knew that the last day of this is the 700th, and that's what we'd originally planned. But we're also going to be knackered.
Yes, that's probably more of a factor than everything else. But I was trying to gloss over that, but never mind.
If you have any questions from day to day, by the way, do ping them to us. Let us know. We know many of you are listening to this each day. Thank you so much. It is appreciated, whether it's the audio version or whether it's the YouTube version. Then that's great. You'll notice we're back to, I seem to have a chin again, which is quite nice after yesterday's video version. And the way the sun was shining. So I was grumbling about how unflattering that was. Yes, a little bit better tonight.
And also thank you to everybody that's reposting our social media posts.
Yes, it's great. I
It's very much appreciated.
I think that just about covers us for tonight.
Yep.
I'm going to cut short the swans a bit tonight. You've already talked quite a lot about Gridserve, but don't forget that if you do have an EV and if you do go on long journeys, even occasionally, then Gridserve Plus costs just £7.99 per month and can be cancelled at any time, much like many gym memberships. As well as discount charging, there are many other seasonal membership benefits, such as EV health checks whilst you charge, pet portraits, and similar. Many people take out Gridserve Plus for a month at a time to cover a holiday or to cover seasonal travel. There's more information at gridserve.com/membership. There endeth the word from our sponsor.
Yes.
I think that's everything. So don't forget, between now and next week, you can give us any feedback and share your thoughts with the show at motoringpodcast.com on Blue Sky, at Motoring Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and on the contact page of www.motoringpodcast.com, the hub of all our activities. And that could even be between now and tomorrow as well, by the way. Remember, you can support us financially via Patreon, and please leave a review and rating on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or however your podcast app lets you do such a thing. Before tomorrow, Andrew, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Before tomorrow, okay. You can try on Blue Sky. If you search for Crack Windscreen, you should find me there. And Alan, if people would like to get in touch with you personally before tomorrow, what's the best way they can do that?
Tomorrow never comes, so it's okay. We're good. It's Blue Sky for me, where I'm at AJP Bradley. That's BRADLEY.bsky.social. As I've said a few times now, we'll be back tomorrow. But until then, I've been Alan Bradley.
I've been Andrew Clues.
And safe motoring.